All right, so we already know that this is a very special book. Not only is it award-winning, but it's a book that's made for both people who can see and people who are blind. And I mentioned earlier, and you saw yesterday, that the pictures in the book have almost no color because it's a book about color. And also, as we learned from the first sentence of today's article, each page of the Black Book of Colors is almost completely black.
That's right.
That's right. The pages, the paper itself is black. And it's not just a little bit black. It's not mostly black. It's completely black. Well, this adverb, as we're using it here, completely means 100%. Yes, it's an adverb. It's spelled C-O-M-P-L-E-T-E-L-Y. C-O-M-P-L-E-T-E-L-Y. 100%, totally, fully, all of it, all right? If you've eaten, if you've completely finished your homework, you've done all of your homework. If you completely ate all of the food, that all of the food is gone. There's none of it left. If you're completely tired, you're probably just going to go into your bedroom and fall on your bed. You have nothing left. You have zero energy. You are 100% tired. For example, the boss completely agrees with our idea, so she's going to move forward with it. Must be a good idea then.
I think so.
Or a crazy boss.
Okay, well, we did say that it's almost completely black.
Yes.
Okay, now this almost is important.
Oh.
Right, now here the article also says the only color is that of the white traditional text paired with black braille.
True.
So we saw that the raised dots of the braille were black. Maybe we didn't see them. If you look at the book, you can see that. And the pictures are raised and they're black, and the pages are black. But then the traditional text paired with it is white. Now we use the phrase be paired with here. When you pair two things, you put them together into one group of two things. Now in this case, the traditional white text is put together with the black braille text. Here's another example. I'm paired with Jack for this science project. I'm excited to work with him.
Oh, okay. So you two will be put together as a team.
To do one project.
To do one project. Of course, we can pair people together. We pair our socks together, generally, when we don't want to wear two different colored socks. And a lot of chefs will be brilliant because they can pair two types of food that you would never think of, but together, paired, they're delicious. So you can pair lots of things by putting two things together to make a new something. Let's go on with the article. It says, that's because, or the text and the braille are both there, and of course the text you can see, that's because the emphasis is on the images the language creates. All right, so we're not so focused on the actual words in there.
Right.
We're focused on the images or the ideas, the pictures in your mind that you are creating by reading these stories. So pictures not important, words, thinking, imagination, that's more important. There's an emphasis on the text. An emphasis is basically special attention. When you focus on something a little bit more, when you point out something a little bit more than the other things and say, hey, don't forget this, notice this, pay attention to this, I am putting emphasis on something. And yes, we often use the verb put, to put emphasis or to bring emphasis to something.
Right. Okay, so let's continue on.
All right.
Here in the article it says, along with these texts, the book also includes raised black pictures.
That's right, pictures you can touch.
Okay, now we use this phrase along with, and it means together with someone or something else.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, the raised black pictures are used together with the text.
Okay.
Now, as you can remember from our book, we did see all of those things. We saw the black pictures of the strawberries, and then we saw the black braille. They're all used together along with each other.
Very cool.
Now here's another example. The police captured the robbers along with the person who drove them to the bank.
Okay, so it's sort of like being paired with, but we could be talking about more than two things.
Right.
All right, so but these two separate things are now being brought together in our mind for this situation. All right, the next sentence in the article says, the images aren't colorful because the point is to feel them. That's absolutely right. We have black pictures on a black page, and the point is to feel them. Now notice, we don't say here, the point is feeling them. We use the very simple form of the verb, the very root form of the point is to feel them. If we said the point is feeling them, well, that means the point is actually touching them right now. That action is going on as we speak, and it's the point that is feeling them. No, because the point is, the main purpose, the main focus here is to feel them. That is exactly the verb or the action that we are going to do when we touch these pictures.
Okay, so let's talk about an example of feeling them. We saw that the point is to feel these pictures, okay? Now here the article gives us an example. It says, for example, one page describes green as smelling like grass that has just been cut.
Perfect. I love that smell.
It is a great smell.
That is a very green kind of smell. That's a good one. All right. Next we read the text is paired with a picture of stalks of grass.
Oh,
yeah, that's what we actually would call every little piece of grass is a stalk. We can also use that to talk about many different sort of grassy things that grow. A stalk of rice, a stalk of wheat. One little piece would be a stalk.
It's like a way of saying, like when we talk about our uncountable nouns, like a piece of bread.
Exactly.
Or a cup of juice, we're saying a stalk of grass.
Stems of flowers or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book also gives seeing readers the chance to learn about Braille text. Okay, now I've always found Braille text really interesting.
It is.
I don't know how to read it, but just looking at the book and seeing how the number 1 is written in Braille, there's just a bunch of dots and I don't make any sense of it, but this book is going to teach me that.
Exactly. Each Braille character, it says, is made up of dots in a cell shaped like a rectangle. That's the basic way that Braille is organized. Braille is the name, I think, of the French person who invented this language for blind people. I think the most common or most frequent way you might see it is in an elevator, right? The numbers in an elevator.
They have the Braille dots.
Often have Braille on it. That's probably the most common place you'll find it in your day-to-day life. But just to let you know a little bit more about it, each character, each letter, which would be basically the same. Each character is made up of these dots that you mentioned in a cell shaped like a rectangle. This cell is not like a cell in a jail where a prisoner might be. It's just its own little area, its own little unit. And each cell or each little box that has these dots in it is in the shape of a rectangle. Now we talked about Braille being made up of many dots, or this makes up something. You could say that as well. Basically what we're doing is we're combining things so that they are one thing, right? A baseball team is made up of 9 players who all have different jobs in the field or something like that. That is the different parts that go together, that join together, that make up a baseball team.
Okay, we're going to continue on and learn about rectangle in a second. Okay, we're talking about the noun rectangle. It's spelled R-E-C-T-A-N-G-L-E, rectangle. A rectangle is a shape that has 4 sides. 2 are long and 2 are short. And at each corner, there are 90-degree angles. Here's an example sentence. The kindergarten teacher taught her students about shapes in class today, including squares and rectangles.
All right, so each cell, these cells or these little boxes that are shaped like rectangles, each cell can contain up to 6 dots. All right, 6 little bumps or 6 little raised dots. And these 6 dots stands for a character, letter, or a simple word. I guess a word you would use a lot, like hi or at or yes or no or something like that. So that's basically how Braille is made up. You can have up to 6 dots in each cell. Now this phrase basically means that is the maximum number, that is the highest number, that is the biggest number that is allowed. For example, this elevator can hold up to 9 people. If you put 10 people in the elevator, it might make make noises and the doors will stay open and someone's got to get off and it's all very embarrassing.
Right.
But anyway, so basically when we say up to number, that means the highest number that is allowed or is available.
Okay, so we also saw that these dots or these characters, these small raised dots, stand for a letter, a word, or a character.
Yeah, a number.
Or a number, yeah. Okay, so if you stand for something, if something like a picture or a word or a symbol stands for something, that's what it means, or that's what it represents.
It's not like standing.
No. So here's an example.
Yes.
In some countries, the dollar sign, the S with the line through it, stands for money.
That's right. It does. In some ways, we could also say, the flag of a country stands for that country. You don't have to say the name or give me any details. Just show me that flag. And I know we're talking about whatever country. All right, back to the article. It says, by combining different cells, these different characters, a sentence is created. This really just sounds like writing.
It just sounds like language.
We're just writing with a different language that doesn't have the letters we would expect, but it has dots that we wouldn't expect, but that can be read with the hands.
Okay, well, let's find out what happens with this Braille.
Yeah, back to the book.
Okay, the book introduces the Braille alphabet along with the Braille text for numbers and colors.
Wow.
So we've got 3 things in the book we can learn about Braille. The Braille alphabet, numbers, and colors. Now, we talked about the verb introduce. It's spelled I-N-T-R-O-D-U-C-E, introduce. And when you introduce something, you show someone something or tell them about something for the first time. Now, this book introduced Braille to me. I know a long time ago I learned about Braille. I didn't learn how to read it, but I learned about it. So it's not the first time it's been introduced, but because it's been so long, it's like it's being reintroduced to me. I'm learning about it for the first time again.
There you go.
Now here's an example. Andrea introduced me to an app that you can use to take pictures of flowers and learn more about them.
So we can be introduced to things as well as people. It's not just when you say, hi, my name's, who are you? You're introducing yourself. But of course, you can be introduced by things, ideas, all sorts of other stuff. In this case, we're being introduced to a new alphabet that many of us don't know. Alphabet is spelled A-L-P-H-A-B-E-T. A-L-P-H-A-B-E-T. It's a noun. Basically, it's an organized set of letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Z. That's the English alphabet. It's also the French alphabet, if I remember correctly. Alphabet comes from the 2 original letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha and beta, which were A and B. So we talk about the English alphabet being A to Z. I guess you could say BPMF is sort of the Mandarin alphabet, right? I mean, they don't quite use the same letters when writing, but it basically gives you all the sounds, all the different letters, all the different characters you might use. For example, the young students are learning the English alphabet. They're starting with the letters J, K, L. No,
Interesting teacher.
That would be a weird way to start. They're starting with the letters A, B, C, of course. But all of those letters from A to Z are the alphabet.
Okay, so let's learn more about the book. Here in the article it says, thanks to its clever features, the book could amaze all readers with its colorful discoveries about our world. Okay, we have a few words to talk about in that sentence. The first one we're going to talk about is the phrase, thanks to. Now, we use this to say that one thing happened because of something or somebody else. Now, it's usually used in a positive way to show that something good happened because of someone else. Here's an example. Thanks to Ryan's help, we got tickets to the concert before they sold out.
And amaze is one of our feature words here. It's a verb. It's spelled A-M-A-Z-E or A-M-A-Z-E for all you Canadians and British people in the audience. But it means the same thing in any part of the world because to amaze is to be very, very surprised, to have your breath taken away, to have your mind blown and your eyes boggled. If you see something that is so incredible, your brain says, that's not real, but your eyes say, yes, it is, then you are probably being amazed. It's very similar to the adjective amazing, something really fantastic. For example, the children are amazed amazed by all the tricks the clowns are doing at the circus. They've never seen that many people in a tiny car. How do they do that?
It is pretty cool to see that.
It amazes me.
Okay, so we saw that the book amazes readers with the colorful discoveries of the world. Now we're going to learn about this noun, discovery. It's spelled D-I-S-C-O-V-E-R-Y, discovery. And it's a fact or a piece of information that someone finds out or learns about for the first time.
Okay.
Okay, now this often happens with scientists.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why in our example sentence we say, the scientists made an important discovery about the planet Mars. Maybe they found some life living there.
Clowns.
Maybe some clowns living on Mars.
Could be. All right, well, that's it for our article. I'm pretty impressed with this book.
Me too.
I think I might go out and try to get myself a copy. But before that, we have our For You chat question. So let's come back and we'll talk.